Good day, it's Konstantin. Today we are recording a trumpet. If you have a flugelhorn, you can pretty much use the same techniques. And this is a solo trumpet recording, so if you want to record a brass section or a trumpet section, different techniques are preferable. But I guess for home studio applications, you could record the same instrument multiple times with the techniques we are going to show you and kind of, make a brass section or a trumpet section using these techniques. Now let's have a look at the instrument. So unlike woodwinds, when woodwinds the sound comes out from every hole of the instrument, here in the trumpet it comes mainly from the bell. So this is what we need to focus on. So that means it's a very directional instrument, and even though that might, limit us in terms of mic placement, we can still get creative with it. So an issue with the trumpet is that it can get really, really loud. Now, small parenthesis here, I am recording at -24 dB RMS with my loudest peaks going up to -12, maybe -10 dB. You need that headroom. So there are two problems with when the instrument is very loud. One is that it will bring up the imperfections of the room, so you need a treated acoustic environment. And the second one is it will distort. And if it distorts, there's nothing you can do to fix distortion. So if you do close miking, you will see that you might run into that issue. That's a common problem when you're recording brass or when you're recording trumpets, especially if you do really close miking. So either back off, use the pad, but just keep it in mind. Another thing we need to talk about are microphones. Now usually I don't talk about microphones when it comes to recording an instrument because I'm like, use what you have. I've used an SM57 for recording brass and trumpets and it worked great. But there is one thing that we need to mention when it comes to recording trumpets. Ribbon mics complement the instrument really, really well. And the reason is the trumpet or brass instruments in general are a bit bright. So a ribbon mic has a very soft high end. So when you're recording a trumpet, which is a bright instrument, it makes the high end sound really, really smooth. And that might be a sound that you want. It sounds more mellow, a bit softer. So, if you have a ribbon mic, go ahead, try it. If not, try anything you have. Now, let's talk about mic placement. I would prefer to be in a slightly larger room, a bit taller. But that's good because, in most home situations, that will be your acoustic environment. And try to treat it as much as possible. So when it comes to placing your musician somewhere or yourself, stay away from the corners because there will be a bit of bass built up. Stay away from the walls and stay away from, let's say, glass or surfaces that will have bad reflections. So I wouldn't put my trumpet player in front of the glass. Or if you're practicing at home or if you record yourself at home, do not be in front of the mirror. In our case, the area that works the best is around the middle of the room. But how can you tell that? So you have your trumpet player playing or record yourself. Just cup one ear, move around and see what works. This is actually a very good technique in actually placing the mic. Your player plays, you cup one ear, you move around and see what works best. And that's where you place the microphone. And lastly, we need to talk about effects. What do you use when you record a trumpet? Personal preference, up to you. I use nothing, no compression, no reverb. I want to be as clean and dry as possible. When it comes to EQ, I use what I call manual EQ, meaning I will just grab the mic and just move it. You will see just by tilting the mic or moving it a bit, it does have the effect of an EQ. So before you reach for an EQ in your DAW, just move the mic first. Lastly, I need to introduce our musician. Angelos Kaltrapezis is with us today. Yes, that is a Greek name. And he actually used to be my teacher, music teacher, when I was back in Greece. He's a trumpet player, piano player, musicologist, and an educator as well. If you want to know more about Angelos, have a look at the description box. And actually, I really liked what we did with the sax video and recording the wrong ways of demonstrating the wrong ways of recording the instrument. So I think we're going to do the same with the trumpet. We're actually going to stick the mic really close to the bell, go to the side, experiment, whatever works. Now let's start with the first method. So the first technique we're going to look at is actually the standard way of recording a trumpet. So we will start with 60 centimeters away, we'll go to 1 meter and 1.5 meters. There are two variations on that one. One where you place the mics 15 centimeters below the bell, if you can hold the trumpet up. So the mics will be around 15 centimeters away. And the second variation is where the mics are above the bell and they're pointing to the mouthpiece or the edge of the bell if you want a bit more brighter sound. So for this one, we will have 4 microphones. We will have 2 small diaphragm condenser mics. One will be on axis, one will be off axis. So this one will be pointing straight to the trumpet, to the bell. This one will be slightly off. And then we'll have a big diaphragm condenser mic and the RE20, which is a classic dynamic mic. And it's used a lot when it comes to trumpet recordings. That will also be off axis. And then we can compare the sound. So let's start with 60 centimeters away. For this one, we're going to be 1 meter away from the instrument, and you see the farther away you move, the more of the room you're going to capture. And right now we are going to try 1.5 meters away, and obviously you're going to get a lot more of the room. Now here we need to mention something. Depending on the genre, you need to play around with the distance as well. So the theme we're playing is a bit soft. You can actually come closer, especially if you want a really dry sound, a brighter sound. Depends on what you want. The farther away you go, obviously, the more of the room you're going to get, more of the natural reverb. But certain genres will work better with the distance. If you play like a brass section, which is really loud, if you're playing like Balkan music, it will get loud. Your microphones may not be able to handle it. So, find the right distance, experiment with it, and see what works for the genre you're also recording. So we are going to try the exact same thing now, but we have raised the microphones. So we have raised the microphones about 15 centimeters above the trumpet. For the on-axis mic, which is this one, it is pointing exactly at the bell of the trumpet. The off-axis mics are pointing to the mouthpiece. So obviously, I'm not very tight with my microphones here, so they're a bit spread around, but that's for demonstration purposes. You're going to use one mic and make sure you're in the center line of your trumpet. So it's going to be, your position will be those two mics here. So let's have a listen to this one. Now let's try 1 meter away. So we are, we are 1.5 meters away from the trumpet, and you will see that the on-axis mic and the off-axis one, so the one that's pointing to the bell and the one that is pointing to the mouthpiece, pretty much sound the same, because after you move further back, it's pretty much the same sound. Now let's have a listen to that one. Now let's try the more questionable techniques right now. The stuff that you don't normally try, but sometimes it's a really good sound, surprisingly so, and you also need to see how that sounds, and it's the cardinal rule of recording and music, whatever works. And I think this one will work great, even though it will be straight into the bell. I think we should just gradually move away from that. So let's go 15, 30 and 60 centimeters. So let's start with 15 centimeters. And 30 centimeters away. And now let's have a listen at 60 centimeters away. Have you ever wondered how it sounds from the side? So this is actually a legit technique. I've seen that in uni. It was a classical recording. So the way the trumpet player was set, the mics were set at a 40-degree angle at a meter away, but the recording environment was great, so it sounded really good. So if you have a good recording environment, try it, it might surprise you. We've got two mics here actually, but you can't see the small diaphragm condenser. We will sample both. Let's have a listen to that. While we are at it, let's actually have a look at 60 centimeters away, and you will see that might sound a bit more muffled, but we have also clipped a mic on the trumpet. So there are two ways of doing that. One can you choose the first one? It's you can just point direct to the bell, and the second one, you just go off axis, which significantly changes the sound. And that is everything for today. But remember, every room, every musician, instrument and genre is different, so not everything will work for everything. You have to experiment, you have to try different distances, you have to try different techniques and find something that works for you. But that's, it's a good starting point to get started. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.